Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Play the Hits. Nick, where the hell are we?
Well, we're probably still in Midgar, right?
I assume so, but are we in Kingdom Hearts Midgar or good old-fashioned regular Midgar?
You know, that reference is lost on me because I've never played Kingdom Hearts. Do you go to Midgar?
No, but you sure do fight a lot of hooded jackasses in the next few minutes.
Oh, yeah, I get that reference now.
There we go.
Sleep until tomorrow.
Maybe sleep through this next section. Now that I've set the bar nice and high, how you doing, buddy?
I'm surprised he took his sword off to sleep.
Yeah, right.
None of his buckles, though.
Not a single one. Or that pauldron, which totally doesn't mess with his posture or neck.
Yeah.
You were out for a while.
Oh, didn't lock the door.
Just walking.
Yeah, right.
I'd lock my door in this neighborhood and
ran
put the
to
couch in
Johnny,
front of
by
it,
the way.
too.
Said not to worry.
You don't
He was
carry an
getting out of
8-foot-long
town.
sword, though.
Oh, that guy.
An 8-foot sword isn't going to do you much good in
Leaving
close
Midgar anytime
quarters.
soon, were you?
You know, what's hilarious is that during that last scene with Sephiroth, they actually thought of that, which I thought was kind of hilarious. It just cracks his sword on the door frame.
That was the one good thing about any of the Sephiroth parts.
Yeah.
Can't say this is quite what I
So,
had in mind when I
like I
first
said,
you
there's
live
two-
streaming a shot
If you
of
wanna
your
talk,
ceiling
I'm
in the upper
listening.
right-hand corner.
Huh? What's with you all of a sudden?
Oh,
With me?
on the Elgato, it
Like
appears
you're
that, yeah,
losing
you
that
can see my
hard edge.
webcam, can't you?
That bad?
That's hilarious.
I can see something, but I don't know what it
I
is.
like it.
Yeah, no, that is
Maybe
the
Marlene
roof
won't
of
be so
my
scared of you next time.
of my game room here. I don't know why it's on there for you. There, how's that? It was never on
Okay.
OBS, which is
Feedback
good,
cloud.
but
Really glad.
apparently I
It's
just
pretty
clicked
late,
something
huh?
random.
I'd like to catch up more, but we should probably both
But yeah,
get
so
some
this game
sleep, yeah?
tends...
This is like a really
Good
shitty,
night, then.
like, dating sim. Because the only thing I've taken
Good night, Tifa.
taken out of these last 4 episodes is, like, everyone who's female just wants to fuck Cloud.
Yeah, everyone's
Like,
thirsty
it's
for
just,
Cloud.
it's wall-to-wall sexual tension. You know.
I mean, granted, I'd be a little thirsty for Cloud, but again, so the game really derails at 2 major parts. Every time Sephiroth shows up, and then these fucking chuckleheads.
Oh, hey, Tusken Raiders.
Or Dementors from Harry Potter, or... Take your pick. It's so fucking stupid.
See, literally, I mean, everyone wants to just bang Cloud.
Yeah, even the Ghost
Women,
of Christmas
Barrett,
Past.
creepy hooded monsters.
Or is that the Ghost of Christmas
What's
Future? The
Come
Reaper,
with me.
yeah.
Quickly!
But seriously though, like, whatever you want to talk about, because I just don't give
We were
2
getting ready
fucks
to
about
set
this
out when
part.
those things showed up and came after
So.
us.
The others?
Barrett and Jesse are holding their
Th-
ground.
this
but for
adds-
Wait, I
us,
thought nobody
don't
could
know.
see them.
Some people can now that Cloud has touched Eris, and then other people have touched it. The rules
so
are a
it's
little
like Stephen
stupid.
King's. It's like Stephen King's It. All right.
I don't know, but like, it's dumb. It adds nothing to an already convoluted
it.
plot. But at least, you know, like I said, this is probably nostalgia speaking, but at least in the PS1 version, you know, the kind of weirdness of the plot was charming in its own way. Here, I just don't like this.
There's way too many of them.
I mean, like...
There are literally thousands of them. What are we going to do?
Right. I mean, so you remember last episode where we were, you know, doing the, like, stealth mission into the weapons base and a motorcycle chase. Do you feel like this has anything to do with that?
It's all
Like,
no, it's like
are you able to
it's like
connect
we're playing
points
two
A and B
different
here?
games.
Yeah.
more of them. We're running out of
Like,
time.
Do you think this is because there were so many strange hooded figures in Final Fantasy VII due to like graphical limitations? They felt they needed them in this game, or
But these aren't those same guys.
Stop us from
no?
reaching the
But
others.
they're basically the same thing. They're just not the same thing.
It's really dumb.
They look similar.
It's like
Oh,
trying to
oh,
find a
absolutely.
hurricane.
Stay on
Like,
your feet.
I don't have a single positive thing to say about this addition to the story. Like, I kind of wonder what it's like for people who played this but not the original. Like, if you're coming into this game with no expectations, do you see these parts of the game and you're just like, yeah, this makes sense?
This is honestly the part where I would probably stop playing because, honestly, like, you have a good plot going with the whole Avalanche Shinra thing.
Yeah.
You don't need to put more stuff, like, you don't need to make it convoluted and add more to it.
Absolutely not. And like, what they're adding to it just feels like such a, I don't know, like an intentional derailing of what they've done up to this point. You know, it's so strange and so.
I'm just gonna guess that there's
stupid and unnecessary.
Some ideas that just might not have quite jived, but they went with it and thought, we'll figure it out in part 2.
It's like, yeah, right. Like what? I don't know. So apparently, now playing devil's advocate here and trying to piece together what they're going for here. The Whispers showed up and they're attacking everybody because it's supposed to be Cloud who goes on the reactor mission, not Jesse, and they have to correct the timeline, and I just don't give a shit. Like,
so if only they can see the ghost, do the ghosts also make all these people in town not be outside too? Or?
No, the hilarious thing is for the civilians, it must have just looked like Barrett and his friends were just fighting the wind. Which again, it's just stupid.
Some kind of, I don't know.
You and me both, Barrett.
Guess I shouldn't be surprised. So
this is a Square Enix game after all.
Reminds me of the end of Batman versus Superman. This part of town is abandoned, Alfred. We should lure Doomsday here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, right. Because a lot of major metropolitan areas just have arena-sized abandoned areas right in the middle of town.
So embarrassing.
So that you can use plenty of CGI destruction effects, but with very low risk. Actually, if I remember right, the reason they even had to make the abandoned place to fight Doomsday was because someone pointed out on the internet that at the end of Man of Steel, when Superman and
just
General
murdered
Zod are
everybody?
fighting, they kill millions and millions of innocent civilians in their just basically grudge match. So Superman is really like the world's worst domestic terrorist.
Don't tell me you're thinking of
Well,
calling
yeah,
it
it
off.
was he was a he wasn't quite the Christopher Reeve Superman.
No. A lot of people died in that battle.
More of that good old Nolan. Let's make everything super dark superhero stuff.
Well, but the funny thing, you saw Man of Steel, right?
Oh yeah, I saw it. It was an event. I had to partake.
I love how after a 15-minute fight scene, where once again, literally thousands of people probably died in their rampage across Metropolis, Superman hesitates before killing the bad guy.
Go and raise some hell for me, okay?
He just leveled like entire apartment buildings filled with children. I'm not so sure I want to snap this guy's neck.
But I'm in perfect
No,
health.
that was a Zack Snyder film, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's-
think so.
He seems to have a noticeable disdain for the average man. You know,
If they're
Everything
off
is-
camera, they
everything there
don't
is
count
just
as
a set
fatalities.
Huh?
I said if they're off camera, they don't count as fatalities.
entirely true.
Oh shit!
Kind of like how Wolverine stabs numerous people, we never see any blood.
Except for in Logan.
Except for in Logan, but that was a completely different beast.
I don't even consider
500
that like
gills.
part of the X-Men canon. I mean, it was a really good film that just happened to have the same actors, but I could care less for how that fits into any kind of continuity. It was just a good movie.
I am too old to be concerned about comic book movie canon at this point in my
Yeah,
life.
right. Like if
If
they can make...
it's a decent movie and
Right.
Jean-Luc Picard is or Patrick Stewart is making some bank, I'm happy.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm kind of in that same
Sure.
mindset. As long as the film itself is entertaining and has, some characters that I know and enjoy, I'm down
That
for it.
obvious, huh? Okay, I'm ready now.
Didn't
Speaking
ask.
of innocent civilians dying, blowing up today.
We'll say that again.
Speaking of innocent
yeah.
civilians getting murdered, what is Avalanche blowing up today?
Today it looks
In the
like the
name of the
Sector
people.
5 reactor. I thought you were going to ask about COVID updates.
No. No.
I had to sit.
Whatever happens, happens.
I had to sit and listen about how the liberal elite media is creating an entire environment of fear, and we shouldn't wear masks because then we're only playing into the. I don't know anymore, Nick.
Alright, people.
All I know is that
We board that
I glazed out about 3 minutes into liberal elite media.
What were you listening to?
I won't say their name or how I'm related to them because it's of a professional
I see.
nature, but they basically came into my office and just let me have it for like 30 minutes about how every decision I've made is wrong, and
Oh,
I shouldn't be encouraging people to wear masks because then I'm buying into leftist tyranny, and I just sat there and was like, okay, yep, we're gonna keep helping and
middle of
serving
the
our neighbor, but
We're
okay.
in the middle of a pandemic, and the enemy is masking.
Yep.
ain't on us. Nah.
At this point, I'm just kind of
Yeah.
like rooting for global warming. I just want the ocean to kind of boil, you know. and
Yeah,
just-
like if we could get like a 2012 caliber event, or what 2012 was supposed to be. I like how 2012 just turned into 2020.
yeah.
Do you remember all that horse shit in 2012? The Mayan doomsday prophecies that Obama was supposedly going to usher in?
Yeah, because he was the Antichrist and so
He
on
was
and so
black.
forth. Hey, you know what? Say what you will. I have never seen a First Family dogged as much as his was during and after his presidency. Like, there's not
Yeah,
a
that got
single
pretty
week
bad.
that went by without another, like, was Barack Obama's daughter Malalia kicked out of Harvard for smoking weed? Or did his wife run over a man in her car this week? I mean,
And she became a man for some reason? Yeah, I know. It was constant. Like, I kind of, if you've ever seen like those random Daily Show clips where it goes to all of Obama's worst scandals, from like the mustard on the hot dog to a tan suit and everything in between.
I miss those days.
Those were kind of funny, and you know, at the time they were infuriating because, like, oh, how low will Fox News sink? We had no idea.
We had no idea that Fox News was going to end up to the left.
To the left of, you know, Breitbart
To the left
and
of
the
crazy.
Federalist and whatever else.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
Oh man, and there's another one. There's this one guy who just sends me Breitbart articles, like completely not self-aware at all, but like, you know, something to ponder, something to think about. This is real interesting. No, it's factually wrong, and it's just word soup, dude. But whatever. Anyway, that's now that the
This is
whispers
the
are gone,
ransom note equivalent of an article.
right? Now that the whispers are gone, though, we can get back to actually paying attention to the game.
Here comes the first hurdle.
Not much of one.
So this is kind of neat because if you remember on the PS1 original, it was just a random red flashing light, and as a kid, I remember I never had any idea what was supposed to be being communicated by this because the translation did not explain it well. But it's an ID checkpoint.
Would you mind keeping an eye on things the
Oh, I
next call
see.
over?
And here, like, there's an actual like laser grid system that's scanning everyone's onboard IDs.
Yeah, that's
which
kind
makes
of why
sense.
I went quiet there
But
for a
you might
moment, because I
keep an eye
didn't.
on the people on this train.
The game got interesting again.
Yeah, they're making sure you have a bus pass. You're right, because when they get into like the Midgar stuff, it really is interesting. It's an interesting world.
Thanks.
It's kind of a unique dystopian
That's one of my
city.
biggest
Yeah.
criticisms of the original game is just once you get outside Midgard, it just becomes another generic adventure.
I still like a lot of the areas outside of Midgar, but I will say that you're right. Midgar is its strongest
Avalanche
point.
is a blight on Midgar.
Dude, you gotta know that the guy with the gun grafted to his arm isn't gonna be the best person to talk your politics with, right?
I was gonna go there, but Barrett is also just twice this guy's size.
Agrees. The reactor will stay online.
He seems to take cosplay really seriously too.
What? You got a problem with that?
I'm trying to think who he
Do
looks
I
like.
have a problem with that?
I'm sure there's a racial justice thing to be had here, right? The 4
I was
foot
gonna say
tall
he
white
looks like
guy,
Julian Castro, but
right? Feels like he can kick around the 8 foot tall black man.
yeah, let's not bring racial justice into a
Right.
game made by the Japanese. There's too many layers there to explore in an hour podcast.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't maintain the Mr. T version of Barrett that's quite a lot of progress for them, and I gotta hand it to them.
Dun, 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 dun.
And yes, I don't know why he was humming the victory theme. I'm thinking in his
Because-
mind he actually shot that guy. Pretending what it would be like if he just emptied this bus.
I have nothing more
Train.
to say to you and your friend.
He seemed to have a lot to say a minute ago. But again, like, they're on...
And then there's that poor woman just trying to get to work.
Yeah, right? They're on this train full of, like, normally dressed people. But all the normally dressed people, like, don't seem to bat an eye at these crazy-looking anime weebs.
Do you think when 7 was made, somebody watched Blade Runner and was like, yes, that's what I want my game to be like?
Hell yeah, I do. That's a great idea, too.
To keep Midgar
That's why I actually enjoyed Cyberpunk.
I don't know, I just get some Blade Runner vibes now that
Oh, yeah,
I like
no,
really
you're
start thinking about
definitely
the
not
first
wrong.
third of the story.
Yeah, dude,
like I said, it's just such a shame. The game starts out so different and then just becomes every other Final Fantasy.
well,
Which,
in,
you know,
in
fine,
this
which is
version,
fine.
In this version, like I said, it becomes Kingdom Hearts, which is even worse.
Inspection and containment sweep initiated.
Speaking of every other Final Fantasy, I beat FF1 and I'm halfway through FF2 in the Pixel remasters.
So can you verify if there is going to be the bonus content in those games, or
Nope.
it's just straight up
No,
the base
it's
game?
just the straight up originals with a new coat of paint.
Wow, what a load of bullshit. I'm sorry.
My thought is maybe they're saving that as
that is a
DLC.
no purchase for me now.
Yeah.
That is a shame, because I was really looking forward to the extra dungeon content in 4.
You know, like I said, my thought is I can play that content anytime I want. But you're right, it would be nice to have like the kind of like perfect tribute to the original graphics while at the same time enjoying the maximum amount of bang for my buck.
You have to get out of here.
But overall, I really enjoyed it. The kind of nice thing about there not being the additional content is that they're able to scale the difficulty a little bit so that you don't get the overpowered weapons.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but that scene would have worked really great without them explicitly saying, oh, this scene is happening because we're showing that, you know, we do care about you.
Yeah, right.
Like, I loved how they didn't feel the audience was smart enough to get
To put that together, yeah.
Yeah.
See, we're not actual terrorists.
Station will be crawling with security.
But again, I guess I'm 35 years old, so, you know, maybe I'm not the target audience.
Yeah, not anymore.
I've been having a lot of moments like that this month, Chris.
Yep. Well, I made a Scott Pilgrim reference in a casual conversation, then I realized, wow, man, 2010 was 11 years ago, and that was the last time you and me were culturally relevant to anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much it, right? I mean, 20 to 25, that's really when pop culture is aimed at you, and never again.
Yep.
You're just kind of an outsider looking in at that point.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's still a lot of grown men who debate where Metropolis is in relation to New York, like it's the most important fucking thing in the world.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
You want to do it right here on the track? Yeah, I think I do.
Is this like one of those Steam games where you have to download the uncensor patch outside of the
Ready.
network?
I mean,
for
I'd
the
be
full
down for that.
content?
At least it would be them showing some interest in trying something a little bit different that, you know, didn't involve hooded monstrosities attacking for no reason.
That's gotta be him.
I've got.
Oh, okay.
Why
I remember this
is
part
my
from the
objective
original.
showing at the? Did I accidentally turn off
I mean, I think it's standard Super Mario Brothers objective. Move right and press A occasionally.
Well, the funny thing is, though, usually they have like a thing at the top of the... Maybe I turned it off. There, I did turn it off. That's hilarious. It's L2 for some reason.
Hey, thanks. For when we jumped from the train, I mean.
No big.
Oh, you're...
Never
No,
mind.
thank
I had a
you.
joke,
Always know
but-
what to say.
No, thank you. This part is great.
Well done,
It's
well
literally
done.
the Shredder's
I
Technodrome
felt
lair.
Sure we had them, didn't you?
Is this Jim Cummings?
Born
Well,
survivors. these
sure.
sewer rats. Speaking of which, where's the third?
In custody.
I don't know how you could tell if it were
Return to
him,
the
Nick.
wild.
I mean, what voice does he sound similar to?
He sounds like Jim Cummings, but no.
He's got great teeth.
Jim
Yeah.
Cummings or Joe DiMaggio, who does Bender's voice. I think he's one of those two.
Wait, Joe DiMaggio is a baseball player.
I think it's also the name of the guy who does Bender's voice acting.
Isn't that... Oh, wait, no, Phil Lamar was Hermes and a couple other characters.
John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio?
John DiMaggio.
There it is.
Okay.
'Cause I was gonna say, wait a minute now. Jumpin' Joe DiMaggio. That's not right.
You can understand why I would confuse the two.
Well, yeah.
Joe, John, tomato.
Good times. So, Nick, how's your week been? I may have asked you part of that already, but...
You know I'm looking up who hit Hydrator's voice actor. Oh, are you ready for this?
Who?
We're coming!
John DiMaggio.
That is John DiMaggio, yep. How about that? You called it. Wouldn't it be great if he just went full Bender instead of Heidegger?
Oh, well, there's always part 2 and 3.
Yeah,
But,
right. Yeah, in 2027.
I'm a veritable Rain Man when it comes to voice
That
actors.
doesn't sound good.
Let's go.
I'm impressed that you were able to get that just off of, like, his gruff manly man voice that I could do. Am I also John DiMaggio?
No, you sound nothing like him, but you're trying.
No, I'm not trying. How do you not get hit by a train doing this?
See ya!
Wouldn't it be great if that were a possibility? Yeah, that's just pretty much what he does when he kills someone, isn't it?
Be the last of them.
Huh. Boy.
We can take 'em.
It's like in Mass Effect 3 when everybody was talking about Garrus and they were like, I wonder if he's doing calibrations, and then they turn to the camera and wink.
Looks like it's gonna be Plan E.
The hell's Plan E?
Plan A was if everything went off without a hitch.
Oh, he's
Oh,
gonna
he is going to
explain
explain them all.
It
Cool.
would've been a
I forgot about this
straight
part.
shot to the reactor.
Plan B was pretty much the same thing, only I had tacos for lunch. Plan C was, well, if you weren't here.
From closer in to further out. B, C, D, and so on.
Oh, well, took the easy way out, okay.
To E.
Lucky us.
Barrett's having a good time at
He
least.
really is. Like, there's something about murdering mass quantities of people that really, you know, puts a spring in his step, isn't it?
One of these characters has
And
to
we ended
emote.
up on the
Right?
adjacent line, which should take
It's
us
like
to
when you're
another
watching a
town.
really, like, bland movie and just one of the
That's right.
actors is hamming
So
it
for
up.
now, we follow the
Right.
Like Palpatine from the Star Wars movies, who seems to be the only one not on Ambien in those films.
That or his giddiness for collecting the money that he was going to get from Star Wars Episode 6 just really hit him all at once. The scenes actually all called for the Emperor to be somber and serious, but Ian McDiarmid wasn't having it.
It's a straight
Nope.
shot to victory, people. All we gotta do is tank it.
Yeah, gun safety there, Barrett.
He has it grafted to his arm. Do you think he's worried about gun
Nothing
safety?
to worry about, sir. Preparations for the grand finale are proceeding without incident.
Oh, you can definitely
I
hear
have
it.
the utmost confidence that everything will play out as you intended.
Huh.
He's being very gruff, though.
Of course,
Yeah, he is.
I will not fail you, sir.
I love like the evil phone conversations they have.
Analytics reports that the results fall within
There's
the
not
estimate
enough
range.
like cheesy
However,
villain
the
stuff. Like
casualty rate
everyone
significantly
these days
exceeds
seems to
previous
want to go for
projections.
like super realistic and dark. I just want Heidegger cackling in his little
Remind me
Technodrome
what your
knockoff.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's certainly a throwback to the '90s for sure.
Or instead of like all this like you know, moral gray zone bullshit. No, just give me an evil villain.
I'm gonna build a bomb that blows up half the city.
If your stock runs low, then go round up more from Sector 3 or wherever else.
He's really sounding
Use
like
your head
Jake
to
from
bring
Adventure Time right
solutions
now.
instead of problems.
Okay.
Yes?
Man, talking like that for a sustained period of time would have to like hurt your vocal cords.
No, not with the union rules that voice actors have.
Oh, of course not.
You're allowed to get like 30 minutes out of Joe DiMaggio to do stuff like this, then you gotta give him the day off.
Nice.
What would he do without
And a whole bunch of lemon and honey in between.
Just not a lot of pay though, because they don't make a lot of
But
money.
no, not substantial pay. Of course not. All right, where are we going, Tifa? This way. Now, see, I like this part, again. Going back to the parts where they actually just expand a little bit on what was already there, you get to see more of, like, the subway tunnels and, like, the inner workings of Midgar in order to get to the reactor. And I think this was a really cool idea.
Yeah, I just like anything that's just not like anime bullshit.
Yeah. So like in a little bit here, we're going from the subway of the upper plate to the underside of the upper plate, which is actually a really cool area because you get to see like how like these massive heat lamps that basically power the lower city work, and I mean it's kind of a neat detour.
Yeah, they spend a lot of time building the world just to jettison it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like I haven't made that comment.
Well, for this game, this is literally the whole world, so.
Jesse was gonna back him up, so it wouldn't surprise me if he needs our help. So let's not keep him waiting.
I'm working on it, Barrett.
And I guess this makes sense since Japan has kind of that whole fascination with like underground cities and plate cities and stuff, seeing as how
They do that a lot.
that's how a
don't
lot
they?
of their cities are built because of the earthquakes.
Yeah, that's right. This is true.
So yeah, I guess in context that makes sense.
Let's go.
Let's go. So, Nick, I had the weirdest dream this week, okay? And I think part of it was just because of the Olympics. But, you know, you're familiar with the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games premise, right?
Yes.
Okay. So every couple of years they release a Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games as both a collection of fun mini-games and a tribute to the real-world Olympics. I had a dream where, for whatever reason, the Olympics actually was just a bunch of Nintendo and Sega characters, okay? So that's the premise of the dream. But then the Play the Hits version of Knuckles and Luigi both get kicked out of the games early on. Knuckles for belligerence and Luigi because he is useless. Are you still following me? So they're in a holding room together, Luigi and Knuckles, and Knuckles is like trying to make small talk with Luigi, but you know, we've got like Brooklyn Knuckles, but Luigi is just responding in his like 1 or 2 word catchphrases. So it's Knuckles like, "Hey man, what'd you get kicked out for?" "Luigi." "Okay, I'm not sure I follow, but yeah, I punched a referee in the dick because he was a moron." You know, it kind of went on that way. But then the dream kept going, and there was like a plot developing, and Knuckles is like, "Man, we've been in here for a couple of hours, and we ain't heard nothing. You would think we would have heard some cheers or something. We should probably check this shit out." And so they go out there, and Robotnik and Bowser have teamed up to, for some reason, storm the Olympics. I don't know what the goal was there. I woke up before
Why
I found
didn't
out.
we open the episode with this?
I know, right? But here's where it gets great. So then it becomes Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games literally becomes Knuckles and Luigi save the Olympic Games, and it became its own like I kind of want to see this game get made because
Yeah,
you literally play
Nintendo, pay attention.
because you literally play the game and it was like Knuckles takes Luigi as his partner, and he goes, "This better turn out better than Chaotix did." he's like making wise jokes while he's throwing Luigi across gaps, and Luigi is, solving puzzles and shit. It's just, I was like, and then I woke up and I was like super disappointed because I'm never gonna know how that ended. It was like an experience that I got really invested in, and it's never gonna be a thing.
When your dream does something more clever than you're capable of on average?
Yeah, right? Like,
Isn't that weird?
So you must be the queen, huh?
but
Like I've had a couple dreams or I have made a very succinct and well thought out criticism of a popular movie, only to wake up and be like, where was that during a conversation a week ago?
Or what's worse is that you had like something really good or a really good point to make, and then you wake up and you can't remember what it was.
Just the feeling of loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's honestly what I feel having woken up from that dream at like basically level 1 of that experience.
You need a dream journal to write this stuff down in so you don't forget it.
But
that's what I have.
The problem is, in order for that to happen, not only would Nintendo and Sega have to roll the dice on some schmuck from Indiana's game premise, but they would have to canonize the belligerent, foul-mouthed version of Knuckles in order for it to work.
Chris, we're in a world where they gave Ryan Johnston creative control over the second Star Wars movie, so anything can happen, my friends.
All I know is that we need to make friends with someone who knows how to make Flash games, but Flash isn't a thing anymore, so what are they called now?
I think it's just all TikToks, Chris.
Okay. I guess you would call it an indie game, but it's not really an indie game because it uses licensed characters. I don't know anymore.
No, it can do that. It can do that.
I mean, if they made Stardew Valley out of basically what was repurposed Final Fantasy VI sprites, then I can make Knuckles and Luigi save the Olympic Games, right?
I've never heard of that. Is that true?
I mean, it's the basis for the sprite work, but it's not. It's clearly its entirely own beast. Oh wait, no, I'm not thinking of Stardew Valley. I'm thinking of Terranigma. Sorry.
No, you're thinking of Terraria, which used Final Fantasy V as a base.
Oh,
I was gonna
not 6. Thank you.
Right.
Never mind.
Well, okay, because no, I was curious because that would actually make sense with the style of Stardew Valley that it would have copied or used 6 as a starting point. That's why I was intrigued.
Yeah, but like looking at the sprites for that game, you can tell at the very least they were influenced by that era of SNES sprite work. I don't know if they like ripped or repurposed or reshaded any of the actual in-game sprites, but at the very least they were
straight up Barts at first, and then when they came close to full release, that's when they swapped everything out.
Right.
Fairly customizable.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you still definitely look like Barts in Terraria, anyways.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh man. There's actually the one of the pixel remasters that I'm most excited to replay, just because I haven't played 5 in a good while.
Report. What good do you think a damn report will do anyone?
Bite my shiny metal ass!
Have you already forgotten the war
You
with
beat me
Wu
to
Tai?
it.
An enemy spared is an enemy who will repay your kindness with blood.
Wait, is that a line from the
We must
Futurama
crush
where
them
they go to
thoroughly
war?
and completely, without hesitation or
I don't think
mercy.
there is. Never mind.
No, I think it was from
And will
Sun
not
Tzu's
settle
Art of
for
War.
anything less.
Oh, okay.
Will you?
No.
I just realized that you're 9 feet tall.
If so,
Yeah,
I'm
I know,
not getting
right?
paid enough for this
we
shit.
assume that you and your men no longer wish to serve in your current positions. Is that correct?
That is correct. Please, let me leave.
There is zero chance he knows who I actually am.
Right? I could just show... And he looks exactly the same as the 2 other employees standing next to him. He could just show up the next day, change his name from Johnson to Johnston. No one would be any the wiser.
Just like the generic officers that Vader keeps strangling on the ship.
Right? But seriously, though, I'm glad that I remembered to share with you Knuckles and Luigi save the Olympic Games, because now that it's on Play the Hits, I'll at least always remember it.
Then there's our episode title.
Yeah, Knuckles and Luigi save the
Olympics.
Olympic Games. Oh, God.
Speaking of the Olympic Games, I love the audacity of the Russians to be banned and still have a team representing.
I know, right? They
What a
don't even
joke.
they don't even
What a
leave in
joke.
shame. They're just like, yeah, this is what we could do if we let drugs in the games.
I remembered, what was it? There was the whole Simone Bills thing where
really don't like
she took she sat out, and then the Americans took the silver medal. I was like, oh no, that's horrible. Who took the gold? Oh, the Russians.
The Russians, right?
Oh, they were probably all doped up anyways. So yeah, I don't feel as bad now.
No. It turns out the secret to Russian super soldiers is just super drugs.
It's actually fascinating. Have you heard how they were doing most of the doping?
No. How?
It's called blood doping.
Blood doping.
Blood doping, where the narcotics are in blood, but it's not their blood, and then they get the blood transfused into them.
Holy shit, that is fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
Only in Russia, right? Or, I guess, Trump's America, but thankfully, for at least the next 3 years, we'll never have to know. Why am I even trying? Just triple slash everybody to death clap.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're level 41 for a reason.
There we go. But yeah, so the last thing that I remember before waking up about the Knuckles versus Luigi, or Knuckles and Luigi game, was they were comparing their villains. And so, like I said, Bowser and Eggman had teamed up, right? Knuckles is just like flabbergasted that Bowser actually uses bullets. He's like, yeah, Eggman, he builds all this machines and shit, but he never just fucking thinks to shoot at us. You mean to tell me your enemy is a 10-foot-tall dragon and he's got bullet bills? Jesus. What the fuck is a bomb? It's just a bomb.
Your dream was basically a robot chicken sketch.
Yeah, right?
It's so weird.
And I swear, I'm not ripping off anybody. This isn't on the internet somewhere and I'm just, like, stealing their shit. Like, this was, like, a fully fleshed out, like, scenario that entirely took place within my subconscious.
That is weird how your brain works sometimes.
It is.
Did you wear socks to bed or something?
No. I mean, I did buy Connor Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games because he wanted it and it's getting close to his birthday, so I was probably thinking about that and the Olympics and, you know, play the hits in general whenever we make some Knuckles jokes, but...
It's always funny. It's always fun to try to track down,
Jesus, what are these tables
where
made
your
out
weird
of?
dream came from. Balsa wood.
Yes, styrofoam. I wasn't even...
And Unity assets.
And Unity assets, that's right. I mean, look at this. Look at this.
I was surprised they didn't break.
There they go.
Okay.
Cloud just don't give a fuck.
I keep having these weird reoccurring dreams where someone has broken into my house. And then the dream always ends with me finding out it was me all along. And then I have to kill myself. I'm sure there's some meaning to that.
You ever lock yourself out of your house by accident and have to break into your own house?
Once.
Yep.
Once, and it was because, not that I locked myself out, but because the door broke. And I didn't realize it.
Nice.
So I cut 2 screens and eventually had to fit myself in through the mail slot.
Yep. And then you have to make awkward eye contact with your neighbor just walking their dog. I live here. It's cool.
Well, I had to have my dad over because I was like, all right, I'm going to shimmy in through the mail slot in the garage. I need you here in case I don't make it all the way so my legs aren't kicking out for the next 2 days.
Right. Oh, it's hilarious.
Just, halfway in, halfway out, and Duncan comes, just looks at me, licks my face.
Get back!
Hey, speaking of which, you missed the whole topic of conversation between Cloud and Barrett there. I love how in this universe Shinra has its own little cute mascot puppy dog to distract.
Oh, was that Shinra's?
Yeah, it's to distract people from the fact that they're committing war crimes. That's literally its entire purpose. It's to get the right-wing voters on board with the war without having to think about it too much. So in the
is that why our mascot in Afghanistan was Opie the opium plant?
Right. So in the regular game when you're not level 41, this is actually a pretty fun battle. Like you have to duck and weave between shipping containers while he fires lasers at you, and slowly, like, whittle down his legs.
Oh,
And there's, like, multiple phases to it.
What are those?
More drones.
what are those?
What does it look like? We've been fighting
Wait,
for
those are
like
more the
20
things we've
minutes.
been fighting. I am assuming they just recorded that line earlier and had to put it in.
Yeah, it's an asset.
Crap
We gotta
warden.
use it.
I found the name for my new metal band.
What's that?
Crab Warden.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say blood doping.
Now let's
Nope,
finish.
Crab Warden.
Crab Warden, featuring the blood dopers.
Martin and the Huguenots.
Hugin and the Argonauts. Wait, no. Did you ever see the old TV show? The old
Movie
wasn't a
Jason
TV
and the
show.
Argonauts?
Yeah, Jason and the Argonauts.
Yes, it was the inspiration for Army of the Dead.
Oh yeah. Classic.
No, Army of Darkness.
No,
featuring
Cloud.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, I just remember like the really like by modern standards like really cheesy skeleton effects, but for the time,
yeah, those were super high tech for the time.
yeah, absolutely they were. Cast it, Cloud. Jesus, why did he wait until he wasn't staggered anymore?
And then for Army of Darkness, Bruce Campbell just kind of threw around Halloween skeletons for 90 minutes,
Right.
and I loved it.
Spooky, scary skeletons send shivers down your spine.
Let's go.
Sure.
Yeah, if there's one disadvantage to you seeing this on a new game plus, it's that you don't get to appreciate how intricate some of these battles actually are. Like they really did try very hard on the boss fights in this game, and it shows.
And I was able to kind of see that with the boss fight in the demo.
Yeah. Like there, if you notice, there were like electric rails that you have to not step on, so you can only attack it from certain angles for the last quarter of the battle, and it was a pretty cool idea.
After an anomaly was registered during the test. An anomaly?
Anomaly.
Or an excuse for your failure to properly prepare the armor? No, sir. All modules
You're
were
gonna
confirmed
bite my
fully
shiny metal
operational.
ass right now.
It's far more likely, given the circumstances, that the sensors were overloaded.
Look at his face. He just doesn't have time for this shit. I'm trying to run a sci-fi evil conglomerate here, and you're telling me about sensors overloading?
All the sensors in Section E are inoperable.
It's basically their equivalent of a power
iPhone?
outage in fucking Midgar.
Yes. Yes. Everything is fine, sir.
Yes, I'll kill them all, I promise.
There's been a development. Yes.
They put a lot of detail into this guy's beard. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he's got, like, the single strands of silver hairs, which I just noticed are starting to crop up around my own
We know
temples.
exactly where they were
As
headed.
well as
If
my
the
beard.
armor is
Yeah, not
intact,
too happy
we
about
can
that.
best determine the nature of this anomaly soon.
Hey,
What's the implication here?
about the beard or about the game?
About, like, with the plot.
Should you fail
About
to
the
do so,
anomaly.
you will deal with our
You'll see here in
intruders
just a second.
personally.
Okay, I figured they were implying that, like, someone on the
Yes, sir.
inside is
Don't
doing
worry.
things.
I
Yes,
treat
that
my
that is
people
true, but
more
you
than
already know who that is. That's
fair.
just
So don't disagree.
Kate
No,
Sith.
I don't.
Kate Sith.
Oh. Oh.
Or Reeve. But what it means for the party is,
Reeve?
yeah, Reeve, Kate Sith.
What?
Kate Sith
No.
is really a guy named Reeve who works for Shinra.
No,
The passage
Kate
is
Sith was
beyond these shipping
Hydrigger.
containers.
No,
Let's
no,
No.
he is not.
Wait,
He is totally
yeah,
Reeve.
you're right. You're right. Who the hell was Reeve? Oh, okay, I vaguely remember.
Well, that's the thing.
now.
You only see Reeve's actual human version for like 5 minutes throughout the whole game. But
Enough to forget who he was. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So,
But what it means for the party is that there's going to be a lot of things that are like temporarily shut down up here that I have to turn back on just to get where I need to go. But like I said, it's kind of a cool detour that's coming up. It looks neat, but it does tend to drag on for a little while. Fortunately, I'm at level 41.
Lo and behold.
Lo
I
and
can't
behold.
believe I combined those two characters into one.
I can't blame you. Though, I mean, one of them tries to kill you, the other one becomes your friend, so... So, Nick, the single strands of silver hair, do you ever notice that they feel, like, tougher, or, like...
Yeah, they're thicker.
Yeah, they're thicker than your average strand of hair. Why is that? Help me with your science brain.
That's an interesting question, and you would think it would be thinner because it lacks a certain protein, which is why it turns a different color.
Right, yeah.
But instead, no.
I'm glad you didn't
I don't
just
know,
say,
instead
like,
of
yeah, that's
Instead
cancer.
of getting just for men, I just pluck them out individually.
Yeah, same here. They're still few enough that I can actually just grab the tweezers and yank them out and pretend it's not happening.
No, I'm fully embracing it. I've decided I'm no longer young, so I'm just going to be the grouchiest old fuck that there is.
Well, you're already there, my friend.
Yeah,
You're already there.
yeah. I'm just, you know, everyone has the midlife crisis. No, I could stand to be older, in fact. I'm just going to embrace it wholeheartedly.
That there's the reactor support.
Because, you know, for a young guy,
So what's the plan?
I'm kind of a dweeb, but for an old guy,
After
I'm
plan
kind of
E
cool.
comes F, G, and then H.
So this is
Oh,
the
we're
part I
still
was
going
telling
on
you about,
about
where you
this
can, like,
now.
The last.
you're underneath the plates,
This here is section F.
and you can, like,
We cut through
once
section
once
G
I'm able to
and
control the
then
camera, you
H.
can, like, literally look
cargo
down and, like,
popcorn
see
and H will
the
get us closer
sectors
to the
below,
base.
which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
Base
this
should be
just
somewhere
like
over there.
reeks of Evangelion.
You know, I didn't watch
Looks
Evangelion.
like the sun's going down
You
on
didn't miss
Midgar.
anything. It is horrifically overrated.
Really?
Time.
Huh.
We got a date with the reactor.
What was the one that I watched? I think I watched Mystical Knight Ray Earth once or twice. A lot of these 90s animes tend to run together in my head. And then... What was the one with Zelgadis?
You're not giving me a
Slayer.
lot to go on.
Slayer. I watched Slayers a little bit. I think that was
Sounds vaguely
Slayers.
familiar. Did that get a reboot or something? Is that why
It might have
it's in
gotten a
the
few
mind?
OVAs. Yeah, see, this is pretty cool, huh? You actually see what the slums look like from
Oh, I see.
top side, which is kind of neat.
Nothing but air below us.
But we haven't seen what's on top of the plates,
Just don't
right?
look down,
Yes,
okay?
we were there last episode. Remember when we did the motorcycle
Oh,
chase?
that's right. Okay. All right.
That's also, of course, where the reactor segments take
Boy, they
place.
sure get a lot of sunlight down there.
Huh?
Well, that's what these giant lamps are.
Oh, the artificial. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, see, like
I'm
I
not
said, they
giving
took the opportunity to do more world
not
building,
giving it
and I
enough
think it's cool.
credits.
See, if it were all just this kind of stuff, I would have been all on this game's nuts, but they had to add the stupid Sephiroth scenes and the stupid whispers and whatever. Oh, I guess I gotta talk to them first before they let me turn it on.
This ought to open it.
Oughta. See, this is some of those rolling power outs they were talking about
good?
from Reeve's Sabotage.
Needs power, I think.
Mhm.
In a
That
weird
looks
way,
more
he's
like
actually helping Shinra right now,
Control room.
making it harder for me to bomb the reactors.
Let's check it out.
Well, which is what Shinra wants you to do, I guess. But
No, Shinra wants me to
Uses
bomb
that
them.
entrance.
right,
Getting the feeling
correct.
Oh,
That's what
never mind. I just comprehended what you were saying. I'm smart.
I took it to a whole nother level, I guess.
I love how proficiently Barrett can climb a ladder with one
Hey,
arm.
Tifa became a ghost.
Think it works?
Yeah, because my head was up her ass. Not in the fun way.
Why did everyone need to come up here to pull this switch?
Yeah, I know, right? They all had to see it to believe it. It can't be that easy to control an entire... Oh, it is!
Of course.
Huh. We literally hold the
guys,
power of the
look at
sun
this.
in our hands.
Instructions for dealing with a power shortage.
Kill the lights.
That is
free up
adorable.
power.
Yeah, right?
Stuff.
Turn
As
light
the
back
sign
on.
clearly
Do you
shows.
think these are the plate suns?
3 big lights equal
Closest
1
thing we have
gondola.
to the real thing.
Gotta put out a sun
Turn off
just
gondola
open the
to
gate,
activate giant light.
If we go through
Use
it,
gondola to
the
get
ground
between
is
giant
controlled.
light. See problem?
An hour later, sun's going out for good.
This
Yeah.
world
That is
and
true.
its mythology is wasted on Final
Let's go.
Fantasy. I think that's ultimately where I
No, that's
come
Nick's
down.
takeaway from the remake.
You'd think
Yeah,
that
this,
man,
this
I
is
just
all
wish I weren't playing
wasted on Final
FF7.
Fantasy.
If the maintenance
Hmm?
guys or whoever
Said, man, I just wish I weren't playing FF7, but still got to enjoy this kind of dystopian sci-fi.
No, this is like what Cyberpunk should have had elements of.
You know, to To Cyberpunk's credit, that was probably the most fun game world I've ever explored.
Really? I think I
enjoyed
ended
it a
up
lot.
playing it for like a couple hours, and I was like,
The deeper, okay, so the further away you get from the main story of that, it's kind of an Elder Scrolls Oblivion thing, where like the main story is just so drawl, but like all of the side quest and side content and like secondary narratives, that's where the game really comes alive. Because those things are all about just getting to know the city and the people who live in it. And they like send you to unique locations.
Okay, that's that.
yeah, it's just one of those games that didn't click with me for whatever reason.
I mean, I know like a lot of people didn't even get into it because of all the technical snafus that it had, but I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I gave
anyone
it
who's
a...
played an Elder Scrolls game has forfeited the right to use that excuse.
And after that,
You know,
reactor
Those games are in beta 5 years after release.
That's true. And so will this one continue to be. But overall, I
For
really enjoyed like
entirely
the 80
different
hours I
reasons,
spent in
though.
it.
For entirely
Tell you
different
what,
reasons.
the rock runs deep in this
Usually the Elder Scrolls games are pretty tightly controlled. It sounds like... My brain just shut off. It sounds like Cyberpunk's development was just a clown show from the very beginning.
It was quite atrocious from what I heard. And basically, even though it got delayed like 4 or 5 times, it still could have used another year in the cooker, probably.
Not to mention, I had to live up to the expectations of Cyber Witcher.
Yeah, they did set
after
the
releasing one of the
expectations too
greatest
high out
games
of the
of all
gate.
time.
Well, and part of that was their own fault for talking about like what a living, breathing city they were creating, which to their credit they actually did. It just, in an environment that complicated and huge, things don't always run correctly.
Yeah, what a shame.
That's the thing though. Like when all is said and done, like I could live with some of the issues, and I'm a little spoiled because I played the PC version, and a lot of people thought that the PS4 was going to be able to run this game, which no.
Well, I mean, it is.
Oh yeah, that's right. The flying
truly-
fishes. I love how this game also just kept like regular FF7 enemies. Like this is just a regular part of their world.
I don't remember these, but okay. I'm gonna guess this is a monster that was randomly fought in 7.
Yep.
That's neat.
And there he is, just hanging. No big deal.
But no, I mean, it is unfortunately just such a waste because whatever effort they're gonna put into that game, I mean, it's like
The verdict
like
is
No
already
Man's-
rendered, yeah.
yeah, it's the excitement is gone. We've moved on to other things. No one is gonna come back to this game 2 years later because they fixed it.
I personally think, though, that that's why we haven't heard or seen anything of the PS5 version yet. They're hoping that that's basically going to be a second, better release. I mean, I'm not saying
That's
it's
an
going to
okay
work. I'm
strategy
saying
if you
I
don't
think
have
that's
any
their
other
logic.
games. Yeah, if you have no other games in the tiller right now, yeah, maybe that's not a bad strategy.
Which is a shame because, like, I really want to root for CD Projekt Red because they gave me one of my favorite games of all time.
They're not a bad company. They're not the boogeyman
No,
that the
they just
internet
wrote
made
a
them
check
out
they
to be.
couldn't cash. Which is
Well, I
ironic
mean, yeah.
because The Witcher really is one of the most, deep and
You know the best
like
way to not get
complexly
lost is to
living
believe
worlds I've ever explored in a game.
I guess part of the controversy was also that there was crunch time involved to make the game, but it's like, oh, you must be new to the game industry where
Right.
we treat our people like non-unionized slaves and burn them out over the course of 3 years and then
Yep.
fire them.
And then fire them.
You must be new to this.
And only after they've given us their last tear to shed do we cancel their pay. That's not funny.
Severance package.
That's severance package. Here's your severance package. Hey, Knuckles, kick him out of here. You got it, Chief. God, I love my job. Knuckles, please, we went to school together. Hey, fuck you, Bernie.
Why is Bernie Sanders working?
I
in
don't
a
know.
video
I wasn't thinking Bernie Sanders. It was just some schmuck named Bernie.
So speaking of constant disappointment, is there anything else coming out this year game-wise that's noteworthy?
Oh, hell yeah, dude, Metroid Dread.
We're still in
Oh, that's
G,
coming out
right?
this year?
Yeah, November.
Oh, that's one of those weird things that gets announced by Nintendo the same year it's coming out, like they did with Origami King, huh?
Unfortunately, I
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. I gotta say though, the
We
Switch,
could always do another lap.
Go for 10. Why don't
it's been a long time since I've enjoyed a Nintendo
swear to
console
God,
this much.
that said lap dance, and I don't know why.
Oh god.
along the wall.
But yeah, like it's been a long time since I've enjoyed a Nintendo console as much as I'm enjoying the Switch, and a lot of that, I hate to say it, is just like
So we
throwbacks
shooting
and
for those
remakes.
giant fans way over there? Okay.
But
At least we've got
you
a
can
clear
play them on
landmark
your
to guide us.
portable Switch.
Yeah, that's exactly
Which,
right. Like
for some reason, makes all the difference in the world. And I'm not being condescending. It's the same thing for me.
I have the
That
first
is
three
neat.
mana games on my Switch. I have the first three Dragon Quest games on my Switch. I have Mario Odyssey. I have a HD version of Link's Awakening, and it's in the palm of my hand. I mean, whatever Nintendo does after this, I'm always just gonna like carry around my Switch if I ever want just a nostalgic road trip.
Now, if Nintendo could just get off their ass and get a virtual shop implemented, that would be nice.
A virtual what?
Virtual shop, you know, like the Wii
Oh,
virtual
I thought you
shop.
said virtual shot. I'm like, is this some kind of Gen Z lingo I don't know about? Because I don't have time for this. Yeah, yeah, that's right. If they had a halfway decent virtual store, it's hilarious because
Oh, virtual store. Okay, that's what it was called.
well, shop, store, whatever, storefront. But basically, like, I kind of like how they released it. How old is the Switch now? 4 years? 2017?
Pretty close.
Yeah. And everyone just assumed, well, it's the early days of the shop. They'll get it together and it'll be presentable. No, that's just that's just
Seems
it.
that way.
Yeah, I still
I mean,
can't
it's-
navigate the damn thing.
It's cool that on the Switch they give you all those free games, but 4 out of 5 of them are garbage I've never heard of.
Oh,
I mean, they're not.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say they're not all Donkey Kong.
No,
some
that's
of
for
them
sure.
are.
But did you hear GBA games are going to be on the Switch very soon?
I don't believe that.
No, it's happening.
Chickening out?
I'll believe it when I see it.
Just like the
How?
NES and SNES collection, they're doing some GBA ones.
Enough. We gotta keep moving.
So they're like gonna sell them on the. Okay.
No, it's
alright.
going to be part of the online subscription, like the NES and the SNES thing.
Oh,
You-
okay. So now we're gonna get
Tornado warning,
random
baby.
GBA games
Don't
we've
look at
never
the
heard
fan.
of.
Yeah.
Whatever you do.
and a
Okay.
couple of really good ones that we have. Anytime they put Link's Awakening in my hands, or sorry, A Link to the Past in my hands, I'm going to call it a victory. And here they may very well put a Minish cap on that, which would be pretty cool.
You know, that is a game that I remember like literally nothing about, having played through it and 100% completed it. I remember nothing about it.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't remember a whole lot of specifics either, but I remember enjoying it a lot at the time.
You know what? I'm sure it was an enjoyable experience. It just wasn't a memorable one.
Made it through in one piece.
You know what they should
and
do
maybe
is
that's
they should
just
put,
kind of that era of Nintendo in a nutshell.
I mean, I guess it just was one of those things that was just good, but not great. You know, it was passable, like Spirit Tracks or something.
Ugh,
I would
don't get
love
me
for
started.
them to put a version of
Section H is just
Four
up ahead.
Sword Adventure on there, and like, you know,
That's
join
our
with your
objective.
friends.
You know, because the Switch is the one console that concept would actually work on.
Yes, yes.
It's like what they
Um,
were trying to do with those stupid link cables back in the GBA and GameCube days. Now all you just need is a halfway decent internet connection and you're ready to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
Wonders
not
of
keep 'em
technology.
Yeah, it is
So
incredible.
what's your opinion on the Steam Deck?
I think it's really cool. I won't be buying one anytime soon because I have a gaming PC, but I do love that, you know, something that powerful is now able to be contained in a handheld.
That's
That
all of them.
that never ceases to blow my mind. How
All or nothing.
by how many leaps and
Let's
bounds
regroup here if we get lost.
handheld gaming
Remember
has
the H
I
word?
like
advanced
the
just in
i-
the last decade.
Right.
I like the idea of having my whole
Let's see
Steam
now.
library
Closest
available
light
on a
ought to
Switch-like
be-
console.
Oh yeah.
That one.
Well, when you think about it though, when so like using 2010, joking again, is kind of like the last time our generation was relevant, right? But that was kind of our that was kind of where you and I were hanging out and playing a lot of games together. The DS was still the dominating force in the handheld market at that point. When you think about like the fact that the phone that's just sitting here on my desk could contain in it probably the entire DS library, I mean, that's just wild.
Yeah, you can put the entire NES and SNES library on a single
Flash drive, yeah.
Yeah.
Thumb drive, even, yeah.
Not even a thumb drive, but a Switch
cartridge. Yeah.
Yes, no, yeah, that's literally true.
I believe it. Nick, I hate to cut this conversation short because it's been a good one tonight, but we're at an hour, and we're going to be wandering around these scaffolds for quite a while yet. So we're going to have to catch you next time right here on Play the Hits.
Yeah, what a neat world. That was... Huh.
Too bad this dweeb's the star of it, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? Too bad this is our Sherpa.
Oh, we'll see you next time, Nick.